Hey everybody, Russell Enyart here with USA HomeBids, and I have one of our successful agents, Arthur Leal. He and I have been talking over the last couple months, and I know he's had a couple of really good experiences with the platform, and I'm sure there's always something that we could do better. So we just started recording. I promise I didn't set him up for anything other than we were going to do this call, and I asked him to share with everybody what he loved about it, what went well for him, what he thinks about the platform. And then, of course, at the end, if there's anything that he thinks that we can improve, we'd always love to improve. So, Arthur, over to you.
Well, a friend of mine told me about USA HomeBids, and he told me about, he had represented a client that it was the property was listed through HomeBids, and he started telling me a little bit about the process and how easy it was. At first, he didn't really think it was going to work, what he was seeing, but then he went to an open house and he saw thousands of cars. You couldn't even park his car. And he calls me up, Arthur. And I've known this guy for many years. He's also a realtor, not with our company, different company. And he said, Arthur, this is the best thing I've ever seen. I think the future is going to be all about selling homes this way. And I've been around for a while, and I said, I don't know, Greg. Um, you think so? I go, he goes, yeah, if you get a listing and you think it's going to be hard to sell, try it out. How can it hurt? Knowing that, if your clients don't like any of the bids or any of the offers, they don't have to take it. So I tried it, and I convinced one of my clients. I had this property on the market for a while, didn't sell, and then she decided to rent for about a year. They messed up the house pretty bad. They had to fix it a little bit, and I convinced her to try it out. At first, she was like, "Oh, it's I don't want to be cheap about it and sell my property for nothing, whatever." That's probably what you hear all the time. And I convinced her, look, you don't have to take nothing. And I go, in 13 days, according to the plan, we should have all these people bidding on your home, maybe offers before that 13 days is over with. And this is how I'm going to do it. And I went according to the plan. And I couldn't believe how many cars were showing up in front of that house. We had people, I mean, trying to find parking. They couldn't find it. And so they were parking all over the neighborhood, and even some of my clients were thought somebody died. Usually when something happens, people come to visit you. Oh, what happened? What happened? And I was getting a lot of that. And was we had the recommended open houses Saturday, Sunday, the twilight on Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday again. And this one property probably had about 130, 140 people that came to those open houses in that short a period. It was crazy. And we wind up selling the house for, I mean, close to what the value is. Where at one time when we had it on the market on a regular, you know, conventional way, we probably had open houses, probably two or three that showed up, maybe some weekends zero. And to get all these people all at one time, and everybody thought, oh my God, this is a beautiful home, because that's ultimately what you got to do is you got to show the house off, right? And I convinced my client, look, even if you don't sell it, you don't get the right price, at least you have all these people that look at your home, and they're all going to circle back. If it doesn't sell, they're going to want to know why it didn't sell, and they want to make an offer. Didn't happen that way because we sold it, but it got me excited that I had so many people that wanted to look at the house when I wasn't getting really anybody. And the best part is a lot of these realtors, I'm sorry, a lot of these clients that came in, I say about 30% didn't have a realtor. And so we kind of gathered probably about, a good 17 leads that we are working. I have a partner that kind of works those leads. And so he's got about two or three appointments that's being set up. These people want to buy. So that worked out. Then I tried another one, which was a total fixer-upper from the ground to the roof. I mean, it was really bad. And I thought I was gonna have a problem with that one. And this thing sold for, I thought maybe you get 700,000. It sold for 917,600 in 13 days. Multiple offers, and people were just fighting over it. And I could not believe how crazy. I mean, this property I think even had more than the last one I did, which was Rosemary. We had so many people that the neighbors were like, "Well, what's going on here? You know, we don't have any parking in the street because this area had a lot of street parking, and it was all occupied by all these people coming in. It was crazy. I've never seen anything like that."
Yeah, I'll tell you, if you do it right, that's been my experience. Every time you sell at or above value,
Yeah.
every once in a while you have a crazy one like you just did.
That
You
was
know,
crazy.
we're averaging around not quite 5% over value if you do the whole system correctly.
hmm
But every once in a while you get that one, Arthur, that just absolutely explodes. And we are trying to improve this platform every week because it is still relatively new. If you're a buyer, a buyer's agent, a seller, or a listing agent, it works spectacular. However, there's a few things that we're tweaking to make it a little more intuitive. What would you improve if we can improve anything on the platform?
You know what? I was thinking about that. If you do it right, there's nothing to improve. I mean, you guys pretty much covered everything. Uh, I'll, being this was kind of new for me, so I was like, oh man, it's so priced so low. I don't know if you know, yeah, I'm thinking I'm gonna have a hard time because it was such a low price. But I after I did a couple of them, it works this way. You're gonna get you're gonna get these people coming in for price. You're gonna get these people coming in for price and maybe getting a good deal. Then you get these people that's really looking at, they probably know the area and they're thinking, oh, this is really cheap. And then when they walk in, they see all these people looking at the property. They start talking to each other. They goes, what do you think it's gonna go for? And they ask me, what do you think it's gonna sell for? I go, here's my comps. Take a look at it. Here's how you bid on it. Go get registered. This is what you got to do. And they did that. And so we had about 138 people I walked through, 16 bidders. The last one was more like 30 bidders.
So great.
And yeah, it was crazy. And I was watching some of the bidding. The first probably couple days, I say about maybe the first 4 or 5 days, it was slow. It was, they would go $100 over, $100. But the last couple of days, they start taking off. It was like, and then I say the last hour, it was crazy because then you kind of shake off all the people that are really trying to buy low, and then you got the real people that really want to buy to live in or knowing it's a good property, it's a beautiful property. Ultimately, it's for me, it was about them coming to see the property. Of course, I want to sell it, but that's you want to put eyes on it and let them make their decision. Because
Totally.
before I was having a hard time getting people in there. You know, Market was a little slow, but this was so different. I mean, I told the client, sorry, I took this to a colleague of mine. His name is Philip Lopez, and I told him a little bit about this. I would come to these open houses with me. Check it out. He was floored. And he signed up right away. He goes, this is where I want to be at because this is where the customers are going to be at. Instead of fishing for one fish, we're fishing with a net now.
Yeah.
Got a big, we can catch as many as we want.
Yeah.
We can get as many clients as we want.
Yeah. No,
Great.
we liken it to the beehive principle, right?
Yes,
If you're trying to go like the old style fishing, you're casting as far out as you can to try to get that one client.
that's right.
However, if you have the beehive, they all come to you, right?
Right,
And and,
right,
and that's what this system is like. Well, Arthur, I totally appreciate it. It's funny because you walk through, most people have trepidation about pricing it so low to start.
right.
If you don't price it exactly like we tell you to start,
Mhm.
it's not going to work.
Right,
Then there starts to be a little belief because you see all these people coming in, and then ultimately our agents are blown away with that last hour's worth of bidding. I don't
right,
even look anymore until about the last hour, right? As long
right,
as I have 15 plus bidders, I know I'm going to be good. And that
right.
last hour is really fun. It's either going to be at or above value, and it's fun to watch where it goes.
Oh my God, it was crazy. And what I would tell agents is that you got to convince your client or, or or make them feel that they're in charge, and it's not about the price. Because people, when when I first brought this over to one of my clients, they were, "Oh my God, I can't sell my house for 700,000. It's worth 1.1 million." I go, "You're not. This is the program calls for this. This is what we're going to do. We're going to follow to the T. We're going to do." And she was so amazed. She was floored.
Yeah,
And and her parents used to be in real estate back in the 80s, And he called me up. I remember Mr. Martin's calling me up and he goes, I didn't want my daughter to do that. I told her that, it's going to look like it's going to be really cheap. But he goes, after the whole process was done, it was quick, fast, easy. It was done, and we got top price.
amazing. Yeah.
What amazed me.
One of my investor clients that uses it all the time, they had a property that was worth about 1.8,
Mm-hmm.
and they said, "Hey, can we start at a dollar?" I was like, I've never done that before. But we started at 4.99 because they
Right,
wanted to go low, right? Low,
right,
low.
right.
And we ended up at 2 million. We closed escrow.
Wow.
So they got
Wow.
200 extra thousand. They want to test the lowest that they can go. Arthur, I asked you for 15 minutes. It's been 15 minutes. I think this was amazing. Again, we didn't know each other when you started.
No,
So
no,
I love that you went through the process, you followed the system, and you crushed it for your clients, which are happy, which is ultimately the goal. And
that's
then
right.
you got more buyers out of it, which is what we tell people is even if you risk it and for some unforeseen reason it doesn't work, which usually means you didn't follow some of the system, you
That's
should
correct.
still get a half a dozen buyers clients out of it if you do everything correctly.
That's correct. That's exactly right. And I try to do everything from the beginning to the end. One of the properties I kind of didn't do one day of an open house because I was trying to rush it through, The it was an out-of-state seller. He was getting impatient, and so I didn't do one extra. But my goodness, you're supposed to do five. I did four open houses, but I got so many people at that property that I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe. I still don't believe how crazy it was.
It works. It
It
works.
works. It works really good, and it's easy. It's fast. And you know what? Some of these agents, they need to understand time is money, and you're doing two things. You're making money faster, and you're helping your clients faster. And ultimately, that's what they want. They want to move the property at a good price, and there's other things I can go into, but like you can make more money because you can represent the buyers if you like. I don't like to do that, so I kind of ship it out to some of my people that I know at the office, and I right now I don't know how many buyers that they have going, but I believe there's about three or four agents right now that some of these buyers that I gave to, I think they're going to close a couple of those.
So cool. So cool.
Yeah, I think they're going to do very well. And matter of fact, they're calling me, goes, "Hey, when are you going to have the next one?" So I'm
I
working on it.
I get those all the time. I got people dying to do my open houses. I have 5 or 6 more coming on. Arthur, I appreciate your time today.
No
Thank you so
problem.
much. I hope to do more business with you in the future. Appreciate the call on HomeBids. Thank you so much.
Thanks. Thanks.
Yep.
All right, buddy.